Alright guys, it's JP here and I'm back to the next class here. I'm actually running out of drinks and voice, so we're going to try to breeze through this as quickly as possible here. Next up is the Warlock Class. First up is the 1-1, 1 mana 1-1 possess villager that will summon a 1-1 Shadow Beast. This is what the Shadow Beast looks like apparently. So yeah, pretty solid 1-drop. I think I'm not really sure if you see this in Constructed, but in Arena it's definitely a top pick in my opinion, and for some reason that's an antivirus thing update. So yeah, I think this is a top pick in Arena because this is a really solid 1-drop in my opinion. Obviously, we prefer a 2-1 as opposed to a 1-1 in Arena, but um, this has a lot of potential with buffs and things like power overwhelming, which um, you power overwhelming and you usually your minion dies, but at least this one gives you one more. So next turn you could probably trade up again with power overwhelming if that is a thing. This also is pretty insane if you buff it with things like Defender of Argus, which already sees plays in Zoo decks. So uh, I'm guessing if this card is going to make it into Constructed, it's going to be in the Zoo deck anyways. So yeah, overall I think this is a really solid 1-drop. I'm not sure if you replace something like Flame Imp with it. Uh, yes, I know it's clear. Uh, because Flame Imp is just way more powerful in terms of damage. And because Zoo, despite what people will tell you, is not an aggro deck, it's actually a board control deck. And the only difference is that it, it controls the board through really favorable exchanges, and the way it does that is just by constantly flooding and playing more than your opponent and trading really favorably, like always trading up and always having something left over to hit them in the face. So that's why it feels like it's really aggressive. Um, Having said that, though, I don't think that this card is good enough to replace Flaming. Um, you definitely wouldn't replace Void Walker with it. I'm not sure if it's actually even better than Argent's Quarrier, so I'm not sure if this has a place in Zoo, but if it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be in Zoo. In Arena and in Constructed, it's really good. Next we have the Dark Shari Councilman 1-3 mana, 1-5. If you summon a minion, gain +1 attack. So the most obvious play is probably the play that I believe is cycling out with Implosion. GVG, yeah. So this play is actually being cycled out, so I'm not sure what kind of combination you can pull off with this here. At what point does this 3 mana become actually a good minion? I would say if you can summon just one minion, right? But 3 mana 2/5 is pretty solid. 3 mana 3/5 is really really good. So if you can get 2 minions out after you summon this guy, it's going to be pretty insane. I don't think you stall with this card. Actually, now that I think about it, this card and the previous Possessed one actually goes really well in a style of deck that is also going out, which is the Hobgoblin. Uh, Hobgoblin Warlock, where you can just keep flooding the board and this guy just buffs to insane health and damage. But yeah, um, personally, I think this card has potential to be really, really good. The only question is where would you put it? Would you put it in Zoo? No, because I don't actually think it's necessarily better than the current 3-drop, which is Imp Camp Boss, because Imp Camp Boss always gives you value. This works really well with Imp Camp Boss, but I don't think there's room in the deck for both, is my opinion. So yeah, really powerful card, but I'm not sure where you put this in. Obviously, it's going to be in some kind of floodish, swarmish kind of deck, but is that going to be a thing in Warlock? I'm inclined to say no. Closest thing would be Zulok. Next we have Usher, so it's 5 mana 5/6, which is premium 5-drop stats. The biggest 5-drop is, I believe, Doomguard. I'm not sure if there's anyone bigger than that. Technically this could be a 7/7, but maybe. Um, doesn't seem like it. This might be pretty big also, but in very unique circumstances here. Gurbashi as well. So situationally, the go-to standard has always been like for vanilla creature in the fight 5 drop spot is the Pitfire at 5/6. So this is similar to that. So by itself, it's a really good creature. However, whenever a friendly medium dies, give your Cthulhu +1/+1 wherever it is. This ability on top of a solid vanilla body makes it just an insane card. Whether you play this outside of the Cthulhu deck is questionable. Um, because in constructor it's not necessarily all about stats, but it's about abilities. But in the Cthulhu deck, I think this is a no-brainer just because it's insanely powerful as a card on its own, and in its ability to buff up Cthulhu. So really powerful card. Expect to see it in Cthulhu Warlock. Next we have Forbidden Ritual. Spend up all the mana, summon as many 1/1 tentacles. So this is in contention with the healing, Forbidden Healing for best Forbidden card. At what point does this become really good? My answer is going to be 3 mana. So if you can spend 3 mana, you can get a pretty good trade. This also synergizes pretty well with the previous card, the Darkshire Councilman, where you can just keep buffing, get a full board and buff up with this. So pretty insane card. I think you will definitely see it in any deck that has Swami effect, maybe Zoo, maybe something like a aggressive Darkshire Councilman type of deck. In Arena, I think it's just fair, right? It's not great, but it's fair. So we have the Darkshire Librarian, 3 mana, 3/2 battle card. Discard a random card, definitely draw a card. This card is just garbage. Sure, it's a good body, but the effect is so bad, I think it's just not worth mentioning. So yeah, the only time this will be good is even in the late game when you're top decking, it's bad. So no, you know what, this card is just, you know what, actually this card might be pretty good in late game when it's all top decking, right? When you both players are out of cards in your hand, you slap this down, you don't discard anything, he kills it, which he has to kill it, and then you get a card. So maybe in that situation it's good, but other than that, I think it's just really, really bad, especially on curve. Next we have Spreading Madness. Deal 9 damage randomly split to all characters, 3 mana. So I guess the assumption here is to compare this with Avenging Wrath, wherever 6 mana. Avenging Wrath, the only difference is Avenging Wrath is 8 damage for 6, but at least it only hits your enemies. This hits all characters. So if you're me, there's a good chance it hits you for 9. If you're not me, it's probably going to hit you for at least 1 or 2. And then it's going to hit something on your board for 1 or 2, and then it's going to hit everything for about 1 or 2. So it's objectively a worse board clear than Demon Fire, which at least Demon Fire has the guaranteed effect of like hitting your enemy minions. Sure, it might hit your own, but at least it will never like hit you in the face. And you should use Demon Fire for a board clear anyway, so you don't really care if it hits your minion or not. So yeah, really bad card. Don't expect to see it anyway. This card is a really interesting card. Renounce Darkness, 2 mana spell, epic. Replace your hero power and warlock cards with another classes. The cards cost 1 less. Now, everybody knows that class cards are generally considered to be slightly better than regular cards, right? So every rogue, maybe only in rogue it feels a bit underpowered, but that's because there's a lot of combos. So like I was saying, right, every class card here is considered an above average card generally, okay? So especially like in Mage, right, where everything here is more or less above what you would expect from a card of that mana. Same for Hunter, right? Priest and Rogue maybe a bit not so much, but even with Shaman, but they have the overload mechanic, right? Warrior, you know what I mean? The problem with all these cards that some of you look at and go like, these cards are not really that playable, is because of the mana cost for power ratio. If you nerf all these cards by 1 mana, or buff them by 1 mana, in the sense by you reduce the cost by 1 mana, all these cards instantly becomes really, really good. You get what I mean, right? So would you consider playing any of these cards. Like Polymorph Ball doesn't see much play, but if it costs 2 mana, wouldn't that be pretty good? Kirintor Mage for 2 mana is pretty good. Holy Smite for 0, Nonshire for 0. I mean, you already play those cards by itself, right? Museum Curator for 0, Resurrect for 1. All these cards, with the exception of the really late game ones, all of these are actually really good if they cost 1 less. So that's the only argument I have for why you would play this card. Though the problem is that you might not get cards that synergize well with your deck, so it's really conflicting in that sense, whereby you want to build a deck around it, at the same time you will never know what you get from it, that you can't reliably play it. So it's a really interesting card. I think it'll make for some really interesting highlight reels where they get like a King Crush out of nowhere and smash your opponent for the 8 and win. But that's about it, like Antonitis, mirror image kind of nonsense. So yeah, interesting card. I think it's potentially, it has the potential to be really good and broken. At the same time, it has the potential to be complete garbage. Next we have Doom, 10 mana, destroy all minions and draw 1 card for each. So Twisting Nether is the obvious comparison here. 10 mana, destroy all minions, 8 mana, destroy all minions. Draw a card for each, doesn't draw a card for each. Now, the only deck that can play Twisting Nether consistently is Reno Luck, because they have Reno Jackson and they can always heal up to 4. Now, healing is going to be a big deal, pretty hard thing to come by in the expansion, just because Heal Wall is cycling out. So, is this card actually good enough to see play in that? My answer is no, though if it's going to see play, it's going to see play in one style Reno Lock, the Reno Combo Lock, because it's going to wipe the board and it helps you draw into your combo. So you have to be careful not to overdraw this card as well. So overall, I think it's a pretty decent card, but it's definitely not very powerful. Do I think you'll see play? Maybe in Reno Combo. In Arena, this card is horrible. And lastly, we have the Legendary True Call. 7 mana, 7/7, so Dr. Boom-ish. Or Wall Golem, whatever. Battlecry, the next spell you cast this turn costs health instead of mana. So what cards are good? Twisting Nether is bad because you don't want to spend 7 mana and 8 health to play Twisting Nether, which is just destroy all the minions. Siphon Soul is pretty good because it's kind of like you play this, you kill a minion for 3 and you deduct 6, so you're basically just deducting 3 health. That's really good tempo. Dark Bargain is pretty sweet as well, especially if you don't have any cards in your hand. Demon Heart can be pretty good. Bane of Doom can be pretty good. Hellfire is questionable. Implosion is insane, but it's cycling out. Shadow Flame is not good because you don't want to kill off the big minion. Fist of Drax is just horrible vanilla, sorry. Shadow Bolt is good. Demon Wrath is objectively bad. Drain Health is pretty good. Because Drain Health, if you really think about it, just becomes a 0 mana. It becomes a deal 2 damage, right? Sorry about that. Demon Fuse is pretty bad, and Curse of Profound is pretty bad. Dark Bomb is cycling out, so that's kind of bad, and Demon Flame is okay. This is okay, this is okay, that is okay. So overall, it's a pretty okay card if you look at it that way. Obviously, the best combo is with Siphon Soul, and probably Dark Bargain in my opinion. Maybe Bane of Doom, because Bane of Doom can make for some. This card is already a very tempo-oriented card. If you do Bane of Doom and you get one of his, it becomes a really big tempo swing because you get 2 minions and you kill one of his. So yeah, this card is just really powerful with both Bane of Doom, Dark Bargain, and Siphon Soul. Other than that, I think this card is complete garbage. I don't think it's worth playing. But with those cards, it's really exceptional, though Shadow Bolt and whatnot is not terrible as well. So yeah, that'll be all for my review for this class. What do I think about this card? Yes, you will see it played most likely, especially in Constructed. And no, actually, you know what? I think this card is actually better in Arena just because it's big body. The battle cry is negligible, and if you manage to trigger off the battle cry, it's really good tempo. So it's really powerful in arena. I think. In constructed, it remains to be seen. I think it can set up for some really good plays, but um, the 7 cost just feels really clunky. So and that's my take on it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll be back real soon with the next part. This is Jiffy signing out.